Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. All right, we're just going to get started. All right. So I am Mandy Bologna, and I am the Director of Product Engagement and Implementation, and I have been with Conductiv for almost 9 years. I am the SME for our products and services at Conductiv, and I'd also like to introduce my colleague, Malia Moore, who's on the call today too, be hosting with me.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Malia Moore. I am the Senior Director of Strategic Sourcing for Conductiv. I've been with Conductiv for a bit over Mandy, so I've been here for about 9.5 years, and I have about 15 years of experience in purchase services. I support a team of sourcing managers who are SMEs for support, staffing, and clinical categories. I also support the contract intelligence team.
So we are very excited today to review some of the new offerings of Contract Intelligence, our new features for streamlining submissions and results, integrations across our platform through your subscription, and introducing 12 new categories and why they're trending. All right, so let's talk about some of our Contract Intelligence reports and some of the use cases, how you can support your process and what they do for you. So with our Contract Intelligence subscription, you can pick one of our categories and you can support the category project management lifecycle. So we can support you from the first time you identify that you're interested in a project, through seeing, is there savings to pursue this project, all the way into we've run the project and now we need to do our analysis to help us decide where do we go next for an award. And so some of these reports, I'll start down here, are going to start with non-pricing reports. So we have our terms analysis and our contract text analysis that can help review your contract and help you build out a contract termination summary to see, is it time to act on these contracts based on their expiration? We can also let you know who are the competitive suppliers within this market space. If you're not happy with your current incumbent, who else can we invite to participate? And then most importantly, if you are or aren't familiar with the category that you're looking at for purchase services, what are the industry trends and what can we learn about the category more to make sure we're putting the latest and greatest within our contracts and making sure to include all of the appropriate stakeholders in our process. Then we move right into our pricing reports. And so these all have different turnaround times. So how quickly you need the information, I like to call them good, better, best. So our good being that, we look at your line items and we find you the potential to see, are you competitive? Is there savings here that you can tackle with looking at the most utilized line item? Take it a step further, look at all your line items. Now, what is the opportunity further from here? And then our best industry practice is a precision benchmark. So not only are we going to take that precision pricing, looking at your line item pricing, but we're also going to take a look at your contract terms and making sure, do you have the latest in your contract? Do you have good SLAs? Do you have KPIs included? How can you improve your contract? And what should we look at next to go in the process? Do we go to an ISN? Do we go out to competitive RFP? Or do we just renegotiate with our incumbent? Once you've decided what you want to do next, we can bring you into our analysis. So we've supported your process from identification to lead to actual sourcing and now into reviewing for award scenarios. So we can do a full or pricing analysis, reviewing your vendors' submitted bids and giving you feedback and benchmarking or calculating savings from your reference pricing. What all of these reports are going to do is boost your negotiation power, helping you identify savings and a benchmark to target how you support your negotiations with your suppliers. Prove pricing is competitive to expedite the renewal and the signature process for you, so you don't need to go to a competitive RFP if it doesn't make sense for you. And optimize your agreement beyond pricing and highlighting those KPI and term recommendations. This will also allow you within the CI report types to significantly reduce your time to review multiple contracts and pulling out those things that are most important for you to compare across your contracts quickly and correctly. And then, as I mentioned, the market research is at your disposal with best practices and competitive suppliers. And now I'm going to flip to Malia to talk a little bit about our new categories we've recently added.
Thanks, Mandy. Yeah, we are really excited to be introducing 12 new categories to our being added to our contract intelligence offering, which are listed here. These will be an additional value to those who are currently subscribing to our contract intelligence services today and will be included for any new subscriptions. Adding these categories is really important as we've seen requests for them surge over the last couple of years. As you look through, you'll likely see categories that mark high spend at your health system. Using our benchmark and other CI reports can really support discussion with stakeholders for bringing your team into that contract discussion. We've increased our contract repository and just have increased visibility to detailed insights about these categories. So that's why they're being added at this point. Something that I'd like to add on to these categories is that, we have additional value for our contract intelligence report. So when you request a precision benchmark, we provide insight to market trends. Our reports show potential opportunity for savings, as Mandy mentioned, which can be beneficial for RFP prep. When you submit a benchmark request, you'll see our request for contract and invoices for that particular category. So we'll also outline any invoice discrepancies where invoice pricing doesn't match and or discrepancies between contracts and invoices. Our reports identify if a varied pricing model exists for that particular category and if a specific model could be more cost effective than maybe the one that you're doing today. As you can see, staffing and consulting have been really popular categories as of late, with analysis of those terms being high value as well. I'll hand it back over to Mandy.
Thank you so much. So we talked about our 12 new categories, and I'm certainly not going to read all of these here for you today, but I wanted you to see the breadth of all the categories that we can offer in addition to those 12 we just covered. And as I mentioned, we go through the category project management lifecycle. So you can go and do every report type with each of these categories, or pick and choose what your organization really needs and what makes sense for you. And as we start to learn more about these categories, we will be consistently adding new categories to our offering. So we look forward to catching up with you guys again about any new categories that might get added soon. If we could flip. Nope, we're good. We can go to the next one after that slide. Thank you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how we have seen that we have had 5 times the savings of our average customer's subscription costs. And we really can't wait to see you join the Conductiv family so we can increase this number for you guys. It's really cool to see that average cost is allowing us to find more than 5 times savings for them. Okay, we get that. So it's time to demo. So today I mentioned, we're talking about these new categories that are trending. We're talking about our current offering, but I really want to call out some of those features that are going to streamline not only for us, but most importantly for you. So let me just share my screen.
As Mandy's preparing, just a note that if you all have any questions, feel free to submit them through the chat and we will address them at the end.
Oh, thank you, Malia. Great point. And that would be through the Q&A. And don't be shy. We love questions. Okay. Perfect. And let me share my screen. All right. So we are in the Conductiv platform in our demo instance, so we can show you some things here. And so we're going to log into our contract intelligence module. And so if you have previously seen this, whether in a demo or as a current customer, you'll see we've gotten a whole new face. And what we've done is streamline the process to remove how many clicks you have to do to get there. And one of the most wonderful parts of contract intelligence is that the learning curve is super simple. So once you've submitted one report, you're basically a subject matter expert, at least on your side, for submitting your information. And then all the work falls on our team to do all of the background data and then return a report to you. So we try to make it as simple as possible for you guys. So some of the new features that we've added in here is seeing the total number of reports you've submitted, what's in progress, and what's complete. And as we adjust, we can see that our filters change. And so we kind of roll up our numbers here before. So to find out what you had seen or what we have analyzed for savings, you'd have to open each report. So we wanted to make sure, because everyone cares about the roll up of what you guys have submitted and done. So now you can see that we're tracking your total analyzed spend that was submitted through the platform in a form of a CI report, the target savings, and you can see we have little quick links here, which is going to be what we think you reasonably can achieve. The lowest savings is it's the lowest pricing we've seen out there, super competitive. So we say if you can get anywhere between these when it comes to your reports, you're doing pretty darn good. So some cool new features, besides our roll-ups here of what we've submitted and the status, so you can filter automatically, is the submission of your process. It used to be a multi-click. Now it brings up one order for the report. You can easily select your category, including an other, in case you were interested to see if we have comparable data for a given purchase service category. Then after you select your report type, you just hit continue. And this is a really nice feature because we do have 9 report types, which is a lot. So now what we do, not only do we call out the report types like we did before, but we're putting the turnaround time there for you. So you know when you roughly can expect the report back. It gets better, don't you worry. It also tells you a little bit about what each of these reports are, because we aren't going to expect you to remember all 9 report types like we will, though we will always advise you on which one would be the best fit for you. Just ask your account owner and they will happily help you. So you can select which report type. You can submit multiple report types if you need to. We do complete them one at a time depending on report type. But then once you select your report, we hit continue. Now we can drag and drop. So we used to have to upload one at a time. No one likes manual work. So now you can take a zip file, you can just select in your in your document repository and drag and drop those folders up for an instantaneous upload. And we'll always call out generally for the report you've selected what you need to upload. And then you hit continue. And let's say you don't have everything you need, no problem. Save it as a draft, come back later, give yourself a placeholder so you can piecemeal in the work as you do it. Or if you got everything you need, we're going to remind you what your report turnaround time is. And then we can submit it and say all of the files are ready to go and hit a submit. We also have that ability to add a note if there's additional information or things you want us to look at, we can do that for you. Now, some of the cool things that we have here. So now instead of all these tiles, and every report will have a unique identifier, so we can help you access the right one. But now you can see all your reports and you can filter them in multiple different ways. You can drag and drop the columns to what's important to you. But most importantly, now you can see your status. So is it submitted? Do we need more information from you? Is it something we're already working on for the deliverable? Is it something we've completed and you want to review? So we have all these different statuses to help you. In addition, previously we used to email out the turnaround times. Don't worry, we're still going to do that. But now they'll be right in the platform. So in case you can't find that email, all you have to do is log into the platform and see, oh, my report's going to come back end of day on August 8th for me. Beautiful. I'd like to talk to an SME when the report's done about the results of the report, which we're always happy to support. In addition to that, this is what I think is one of the coolest features, is that now for reports that have spent, we can put in what the analyzed spend is. So this will come out after we finish your report. What the spend we analyzed was, what we found for target savings, what we found for low savings, or if you're competitive, we'll call that out for you. Now you may notice not applicable is listed here, and that's where we don't have the AP spend for that category given when we did your report, or it's not a pricing report. But we make sure that that roll-up number is here. And you have many ways to splice the data with our new filters. And if you ever needed to take it offline, let's say to report out to your CFO or your senior leadership, you can now export the data, although your account owner is always happy to help you with that as well. All right. And this will streamline the communication. So now how do we review the reports? Well, we even streamline that too for you. So when you come in, you'll want to filter to your completed reports, which is super easy to hit completed. And then you'll just click the row. And when you do that, you'll see the notes you previously entered, your files, and there's 2 cool features here. I did mention that this will go and flow through your subscription. So depending on what you're subscribed to, if you wanted to do a deeper dive, for example, here for courier services, I can click this and it'll bring me right into the spend overview. So I can go in the deep dive of where and how I spend. Then when I'm ready to review the report, it's as simple as hitting download. Oops. Oh, they moved the download feature on me, sorry, in my Chrome. So then you can download the report to take offline to show with your team and your stakeholders. And this is an example of a precision benchmark brochure that we did. It is blinded, so no worries, we're not sharing anyone's information. And it'll go through with this content that we have here. So we have our executive summary, where it's going to tell you what the target cost savings percentage is, what our target savings is. And like I mentioned with our precision benchmark, we're going to bump you up against the data within our database and compare you to like hospitals, which is super important because we need to know, where are you located? Are you rural? Are you urban? Do you have a very large health system or a very large facility? Are you small? All of these things are going to affect your pricing and your terms. And so we want to make sure to compare you apples to apples. We're also going to tell you what is the background and methodology and variables we considered to make sure that you know that we can prove the data behind our benchmarks and our reports. Then we'll go through your line item analysis, line item by line item. We'll come down here and talk about any additional considerations you might want to consider. So this is the review of your contracts. We talked pricing first. Now we're talking contracts. And so you can see the things that they've said to improve within this given contract. And then another, not shocking for courier services, fuel surcharges and what we want to do to, lock those down. And then of course, we will identify any suppliers in the space that you might not currently be using that you might want to be interested in exploring. And that should cover all of our new features that we have available. If we can flip on back to our presentation, I will stop sharing. Julia, if you could, thank you. And so today we covered contract intelligence, which is in our conductive technologies and service portfolio. We have a wide portfolio. So contract intelligence is just one small piece of the puzzle within our offering for you. And so if you want to learn more about contract intelligence or any of our offerings listed here, you can reach out to us at info@conductiv.com and we'll be happy to connect you with a subject matter expert or our sales department as needed. Now, I'd love to open up the Q&A for questions. And I see we do have a few. Malia, do you want to read them and we'll get those answered?
Yeah, so we have one. Is there a way to show facility instead of overall member?
Is that, sorry, I might need a clarification on that one. When you mean looking at the benchmark, we wanted to focus on a facility level at the benchmark instead of looking at a system. And can we unmute Desiree for that so that she can answer, so I can clarify that question for her? Desiree, can you just clarify that for me so I can answer you?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so just being a GPO, we can basically only see, like, it'll just say Yankee Alliance, and we have a lot of members. So I'm just wondering if there's a way to be able to break that down at the member level instead of just the overall, like, GPO level.
Are you talking within the conductive contracts portfolio or are you talking within contract intelligence?
In the contract intelligence.
Oh, absolutely. So when you submit the request, we typically ask for most requests a copy of your current contract, utilization and spend. So depending on the utilization and spend that you include with your submission, we will break it down on that line item level. So if you add a contract for one facility and a contract for another, or you have a system-wide contract, but you're only focusing on, let's say, 2 facilities, we can do that. You would just need to note that in the notes for us and we can break that down for you, no problem.
Okay, but would I be able to like almost filter on it so I could export like all of the benchmarks that we did just for specific facilities?
Great question. That is something that we'd have to help you with internally, but your account owner would be happy to help support that to make sure that you're pulling out the ones for the specific facilities you're looking for.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
No problem. Happy to help. I see there's an anonymous attendee who said the chat is disabled. If you'd like to submit your question right in the Q&A, we can answer any of your questions you may have. Please don't be shy, but if you are shy, please don't hesitate to reach out to info@conductive.com. We will get you your answers there. But like I said, you have us now, you got your SMEs. Please feel free to ask us questions, anything you're interested in, whether you're a current user or a prospective user. All right, well, it doesn't, oh, let me just double check, make sure I didn't miss one. I think we got them all. Okay, perfect. Well, if there are no more questions today, I do look forward to hopefully having some additional people join the Conductive family with us. And so that we can help you identify some additional savings and streamline your process for managing your projects. Thank you so much, everyone, today for coming. We really appreciate it.